I just finished my thru hike with the Pacific Crest Trail, and I had to choose whether I wanted to take my high-end cinema camera with me or this $500 travel cam. I think it's probably obvious which one I chose. Or is it? Hey y'all, Jeffrey here. I carried only one camera on my PCT thru hike, except for my phone. Which one do you think it was? It was this one. I don't know. Is that surprising? Today, I'm going to break down the ultralight camera gear setup that I had with me on the PCT, what it was, what I took with me, why I chose it, and how it worked out. So stick around to see why this gear was the perfect balance between quality and portability, and what I do differently next time. Okay, first and foremost, I want to address weight. Are there better cameras than this? Absolutely. But we all know the saying, the best camera is the camera you currently have in your hand. And the trade-offs for me were just obvious. There were a few reasons, and I'll dive into those. But at the end of the day, this is a powerhouse. This is a 3-axis gimbal stabilized shot. It shoots up to 4K, 60 frames per second, also slow motion. It has tons of other features we'll jump into as well. But 20 years ago, this technology, well, this resolution, I don't even know if it was in existence 20 years ago, but the fact that all of this is in this tiny little package would blow cinematographers' minds from 40 years ago. Now, are you going to be making any feature films with this? Probably not. I probably wouldn't suggest it. But for this, it was ideal. This is what tons of travel creators use, and it's for very, very good reasons. But first and foremost, I chose this because of weight. Okay, without further ado, let me just dive right into all of the things in my ultralight camera gear on the PCT. So first and foremost is the camera. So this is the main body of the camera, and this is its holder. This shoots in vertical and horizontal, but I'm putting it to sleep. Great, and this just fits right in here. Right like that. So snug. It's called the Pocket 3. It's because it's the third version, and it just goes right in your pocket. I carried this in my chest straps. You know how much I love those trail running vest straps on my Nashville packs that I wore on my PCT thru hike, and so this fit perfectly. But this, of course, is not all that I had with me. First and foremost, in here are a couple things. Number one, I have a wide angle lens. Number two, I added on ND filters. That's a whole other thing. If you're not sure what ND filters are or whether you need them, you probably do want them. And you're able to store one of them in here while it's not on your camera. Now, I bought the Creator Combo. I won't list out everything that comes in that, but the biggest thing is this. This is an extension that goes onto the camera just like that. And this does a few different things. Number one, this extends the battery life by a lot. That is the primary thing. But the thing for me that was most useful is this. It comes with a wireless microphone, which I'm currently using. It doesn't come with it, but I bought a DJI lavalier, and so it's going up through my clothes. That's how you're hearing me right now. But it comes with this wireless microphone. If you're not using the lavalier and you just want to use the box, you can do that. And it also has this windshield that works really well. And the microphone can only connect to the camera when the extension is on it. So I would highly recommend it. Number one, for video or for battery alone, it's worth it for the extra battery. But if you want to use a microphone, you'll want it as well. I have two of them. I'm shooting on the one that I'm shooting on, but this is the second one. So this microphone is what you're using to hear me right now. And even with the handle on it, it's still, this is how this whole thing actually with the tripod. So it also comes with a tripod. I don't know if that's the Creator Combo or if it comes with the main one, but that is pretty handy. I did not carry another tripod. If I had, it would have been something like this, like a GorillaPod. And this one's kind of big to carry on something like this, but I feel like if you're gonna lug one of these around, I would want it to be big enough that it could go around tree limbs and things like that. But I did not. I didn't use it and I didn't need it. I was fine without it. Okay, next, the accessories. So I guess first and foremost, these are the battery packs that I used. I'll get into those a bit more here in a minute. This is, so I used, in the beginning of the trail, I did use my iPhone. I used it for video. I was lazy and was like, I don't know if I need the Pocket 3. I can probably just shoot it with my phone. And I could have. I absolutely could have. Absolutely could have. This would have still been great, but this is definitely a jump up in quality. But because I was using my phone to transfer files, and this is the newer iPhone, so it uses a USB-C, I have this little device. This plugs into the USB-C port on your phone, and it has a number of different ports. It has 2 USB-C ports and micro SD port, which is why I bought it. That is what I was using it for, transferring footage, and then a traditional USB port as well. So when I wanted to transfer footage, you can transfer it wirelessly, but it's a little faster if you use this. So I would just pop the micro SD card out of there and in here and use that to access my files. Additionally, this did not end up being as practical as I had hoped, but this is a 4 terabyte external hard drive. And I'll try to find the video to link. I found this from somebody else, but that is a little magnetic ring that has adhesive. I got all of this on Amazon and stuck to there. This is a flat, short USB-C data cable. And the reason I bought this was for 2 reasons. Number 1, I wanted the storage space. And number 2, in order to shoot in ProRes, the highest quality video the new iPhones can shoot in, it has to store it directly to a hard drive. It can't store it to the phone. And so the reason this magnet is on there is so that this pops onto the back of your phone. My case is also magnetic, so it's popping to the back of that. And then this, there's a close-up of the setup. So the reason I didn't end up using it as much as I expected was just because while it is great, and if I was shooting in a normal environment, it would be fine. But in nature, it was just constantly popping off, and it just wasn't as practical as I had thought. It would be in most other applications, so I definitely will keep this and will use it. But I mostly just used it for traditional data storage. Along, I also brought a number of these short little both USB-C and USB cables because this, which we'll get to in a bit, has both ports, and they can charge devices simultaneously.
Hello, hey, if you are sitting there thinking, oh, I want to travel more, I want to go on more adventures, come with me. I host trips around the world. We've been hiking in Patagonia, we went looking for the Northern Lights in Iceland, trekking in Nepal, camping in Banff, Canada, in the Canadian Rockies. We do it all, and we have a real good time. Everyone's welcome, and all the details for any current trips, just click that little bubble up in the top corner, or go to my website, jjb.life/travel. And we almost always make at least one group cringy TikTok. So come hang out with us. We're a real good time.
One of the primary reasons I went with this camera, aside from the weight, was that it's weatherproofed. So it's not waterproof, but the weatherproofing will help it resist things like rain and dirt and dust. And trust me, there was a lot of one of those and enough of the other, enough rain. But there's just dirt and filth everywhere. And this held up really well. Even when, I could feel the screen, I could feel dirt would get in there and it would scrape as I closed it. I could see dirt in cracks and crevices, but it still performed brilliantly. This should be obvious, and it goes for all through hiking gear, but ensure that you test your camera setup before you hit the trail. I would think that would be obvious, but you'd be surprised. And it really will make a big difference for you to know how everything works in advance, how to troubleshoot problems you might run into because you won't have reception a lot of the trail. So just make sure you know how to use the camera well before you hit the trail. This entire video, from this footage to the B-roll you've seen, was shot on the Pocket 3. But if you've watched my PCT vlogs, the beginning videos were shot with the iPhone, which again, did a fine job. But I think the last iPhone video is posting this week or next. So it'll be vlog 11 or 12 from my PCT vlogs. I think that you'll notice a notable shift in the quality. Again, the iPhone is great, but after video vlog 11 or 12, everything else was shot on the Pocket 3s. So if you'd like a comparison, feel free to go check those vlogs and see the difference. I did carry my drone for a portion of the trail just to get a few drone shots. This is the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and this is its controller. This, as drones go, is incredibly lightweight for the quality. There are lighter drones for sure, but this shoots 4K, 60 frames per second. Also shoots slow motion, has great dynamic range. For the size and the weight, this is a little powerhouse, but it wasn't super practical to really have it on trail, which I knew before I left. And so I minimized how much I had it. I thought I was going to keep it around, or at least in my bounce box, longer, but once I got a handful of shots, I ended up sending it home because it just wasn't worth it. But if I was going to carry it again, this is what I carry. I was happy with it. One of the MVPs of my through hike when it comes to gear, not only from my camera setup, but just general trail happiness, are these Nitecore Carbo 20,000 battery banks. I ended up carrying 3 of these because I was charging my phone, my iPad to edit content while I was on the trail, as well as 2 Pocket 3 cameras, one for me and one for a family member who helped me shoot as well. And these were incredible. 20,000 is pretty big for a lot of people. One of these will be more than enough. It might even be overkill if you're just keeping a phone charged. Nobody else, unless you're charging camera equipment or some other electrical device, would need 3 of them. But I kept almost, aside from the Pocket 3 on my chest strap, I kept most of my camera gear in this fanny pack. This is actually the second fanny pack. I broke the first one because I used it so hard. This is a DCF fanny pack from Ultralight, and it was great. I absolutely loved it. And so all 3 of those, along with tons of other things, it wasn't all I kept in here, I kept in this fanny pack. I can't recommend a fanny pack enough. I'm not used to wearing a fanny pack, so it did take me a while to get used to having it around my waist, but I'm really glad I did, and I would definitely carry it again. It's a really great way to be able to carry a little extra stuff without adding to the weight of your backpack on your shoulders. So in the future, big fanny pack fan. It really gives you an opportunity to carry a few more things without putting weight on your back, or to take some of the weight off of your back and get it onto your waist. So I will make more videos about these battery packs because I feel very passionately about them, as well as the link. I'll put the link in the description. All of the links to all of this gear will be in the description, not only my camera gear, but my entire PCT gear list. You can check it all out on my website. In terms of gear protection, I didn't really have to do a whole lot. So the fanny pack is made out of DCF, which is water resistant. It's not seam sealed, this is not waterproof, but it is water resistant. So in general, it kept, light rain out of it. But where is it? One second. I carried the Z-Packs DCF poncho, and I didn't start with it, but I bought it mid-trail, and I couldn't have been happier with it. It's just a solve all. in one fell swoop. It covers everything, your backpack, your head, and it also covered my fanny pack. It also covered my chest strap. So I didn't have to worry about individual things anymore. I could just put the poncho on and know that everything was covered. So what would I have changed? Honestly, not much. This was incredible. I'm glad that I skipped a traditional or a bigger tripod. This was more than enough. And I was worried I would regret not taking the fancy camera, and I don't. At all, at all. Especially now that I've seen the footage. Also, did I mention how happy I was with these? These for the weight, these are really popular with thru hikers because as I can find, as my research allows, this is unquestionably the lightest battery bank construction for the power. What didn't I like? What would I change? I think the only thing is that I wouldn't necessarily have changed when and how often I carried the drone, but I wish in advance I would have known that it wasn't really going to be that practical, so I could have just planned to have it for a short period instead of lugging it around for more than I needed to on trail and then putting it in bounce boxes. I think that's one thing I would change. But honestly, looking back, this setup was pretty perfect. I put a lot of research into it in advance and was really happy with most of my decisions. If I had to do it again, I am going to do it again. No, not the PCT, but outdoor adventures. I will unquestionably carry this again. I was really happy with my choice. All right, so that's a rundown of all of the ultralight camera gear that I used on my PCT thru hike. If you are planning a big adventure that you want to share with friends and family and followers, hopefully this helps. What's your go-to for capturing memories on the trail? Let me know in the comments below because there's a lot of other options as well. And don't forget to check out my complete PCT gear list, complete with links in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, do all those things, and check out my group trips if you want to travel with me. We have a pretty good time on those trips. All right, until next time, later, y'all. Want to watch another video? Click here. Want to learn more about my upcoming trips? Click here. Want to subscribe and like all my videos and turn those bell notifications on?